In the mid-19th century, a quiet revolution in science was sparked by a man whose observations would forever change how we understand life on Earth. That man was Charles Darwin, a naturalist whose groundbreaking theory of evolution by natural selection reshaped biology and provided a unifying explanation for the diversity of life. Darwin's work challenged the prevailing views of his time, provoking controversy and debate, but ultimately laying the foundation for modern biology. This is the story of Charles Darwin, a journey of discovery, persistence, and courage to question established beliefs. Darwin's path from a curious young man in England to a world-renowned naturalist is a tale of scientific inquiry and exploration. His observations during a 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle would lead to a theory that explains how species adapt and evolve over time, a theory that remains central to biology even today. Who was Charles Darwin, and how did he develop one of the most influential ideas in science? Let's explore the life and legacy of the man who revolutionized our understanding of the natural world. Charles Robert Darwin was born on February 12, 1809 in Shrewsbury, England, into a well-off intellectual family. His father, Robert Darwin, was a successful physician, and his mother, Susanna, came from the prominent Wedgwood family. From a young age, Darwin showed a keen interest in nature, spending his childhood collecting insects, plants, and minerals. However, his academic performance was inconsistent, and his father hoped he would follow in his footsteps as a doctor. In 1825, Darwin enrolled at the University of Edinburgh to study medicine, but he soon realized he had little interest in becoming a doctor. Instead, he became captivated by natural sciences, attending lectures on geology and joining the Plinian Society, a group dedicated to natural history. After leaving Edinburgh without completing his studies, his father suggested career in a clergy, and Darwin enrolled at Christ's College, Cambridge in 1828. It was here that Darwin's passion for natural history fully blossomed, influenced by botanist John Stevens Henslow, who became his mentor. In 1831, Darwin's life took a dramatic turn when he was invited to join the HMS Beagle as a naturalist for a surveying expedition around the world. The Beagle's mission was to chart the coastlines of South America, but for Darwin, the voyage became a 5-year journey of discovery that would change the course of his life and science itself. The voyage of the Beagle was the most formative experience of Darwin's life. Over the course of the expedition, Darwin collected specimens, observed wildlife, and recorded his thoughts in detailed journals. The diverse environments he encountered, from rainforests of Brazil to the volcanic landscapes of the Galapagos Islands, challenged his understanding of the natural world and fueled his growing curiosity. In the Galapagos Islands, Darwin made the most crucial observations that would shape his theory of evolution. He noticed subtle differences in the beaks of finches on different islands, leading him to wonder how species could vary so significantly in response to their environments. These observations planted the seeds for his theory of natural selection, the idea that species evolve over time through a process where individuals with traits better suited to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. Throughout the voyage, Darwin collected a vast array of specimens, including fossils, plants, and animals. By the time the Beagle returned to England in 1836, Darwin had amassed a wealth of information that would form the basis of his scientific career. After returning to England, Darwin spent the next 2 decades refining his ideas. He settled in London and became an active member of the scientific community, corresponding with other naturalists, conducting experiments, and analyzing the data he had collected during his voyage. Darwin was cautious in developing his theory, fully aware that his ideas would challenge the prevailing views at the time, particularly the belief in the fixed, unchanging nature of species. In 1842, Darwin wrote a short sketch of his theory of natural selection, but he hesitated to publish it, fearing the reaction it might provoke. Instead, he continued gathering evidence and wrote a more detailed essay in 1844, which he kept private. During this time, Darwin also worked on other scientific projects, including his study of barnacles, which provided further insights into species variation. In 1858, Darwin received a letter from naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, who independently developed a theory of natural selection similar to Darwin's. Realizing the urgency, Darwin and Wallace's papers were jointly presented to the Linnean Society of London. The following year, Darwin published his full theory in the groundbreaking book On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. The book presented a wealth of evidence supporting the idea that species evolve over time, suggesting that all species share a common ancestor and have diverged due to environmental pressures. The publication of Darwin's theory of evolution was met with a mixture of excitement, skepticism, and controversy. While scientists recognized the significance of his work, others rejected it, often on religious grounds. The idea that humans share a common ancestor with apes was particularly controversial, challenging the traditional view of humanity's place in creation. Despite the controversy, Darwin's ideas gradually gained acceptance within the scientific community. As more fossils were discovered and the field of genetics emerged, evidence supporting evolution grew. Over time, natural selection became widely accepted as the driving force behind species evolution. Darwin's theory not only impacted biology, but also changed how people thought about the natural world and humanity's place within it. His theory of natural selection challenged the idea that life was static, introducing the concept that change and adaptation are fundamental aspects of all life. Darwin's ideas have influenced fields far beyond biology, including anthropology, psychology, and ecology. The implications of Darwin's theory extended beyond science, sparking debates about religion, philosophy, and the nature of life. These debates continue today as the tension between science and religion remains a topic of discussion in many societies. In the years following the publication of On the Origin of Species, Darwin continued working on various scientific topics. He published several more books, including The Descent of Man, which explored human evolution, and The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, which examined the similarities between human and animal behavior. Darwin also conducted research on plant biology, publishing works on the fertilization of orchids, the movement of plants, and the formation of vegetable mold by earthworms. His studies demonstrated the breadth of his scientific interests and his dedication to understanding the natural world in all its complexity. Though his health declined in later years, Darwin remained intellectually active, revising his earlier works and corresponding with scientists. His ideas inspired a new generation of scientists to explore the principles of evolution, and his theory of natural selection became a cornerstone of modern biology. Charles Darwin passed away on April 19, 1882, at the age of 73, and was buried in Westminster Abbey, a recognition of his immense contributions to science. His legacy is one of the most profound in the history of all science. Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection remains fundamental to modern biology, shaping our understanding of life on Earth. Darwin's work has had lasting implications beyond biology, influencing how we think about the origins of life, the interconnections between species, and the dynamic nature of the natural world. His ideas guide research in genetics, ecology, and even medicine. Beyond his scientific achievements, Darwin's curiosity, perseverance, and dedication to understanding life's complexity continue to inspire scientists and thinkers around the world. Charles Darwin was more than just the father of evolutionary biology. He was a man whose curiosity and dedication to understanding the natural world led to one of history's most important scientific breakthroughs. His theory of natural selection provided a unifying framework for understanding life's diversity and challenged humanity to rethink its place in the natural world. Darwin's legacy continues to inspire us even today. As we explore the complexities of life and the universe, we stand on the shoulders of giants like Darwin, who dared to ask questions that changed our understanding of the world forever.